It has finally happened. The EA-6B Prowler has officially been retired from service by the Marine Corps, the last operator of the type. Prowler Sundown has been creeping slowly closer ever since the U.S. Navy retired the aircraft back in July of 2015. The end of the Prowler also marks the end of an incredibly successful legacy for Grumman's A-6 Intruder family of aircraft that reaches back 6 decades. It all began with the UA-2F1, an incredibly ambitious carrier-based strike aircraft with thrust vectoring nozzles and ridiculously advanced computer systems for the era in which it was designed. The 1950s. This aircraft, which first flew in 1960, would be refined into the A-6 Intruder, an incredibly heavy-hitting and precise nuclear-capable strike aircraft that could haul laughably large bomb loads deep into enemy territory in atrocious weather and at night while flying at very low level. The A-6 entered service in 1963 and went on to fight over in Vietnam for a decade, and then on to Libya and Iraq, among other operations as the decades progressed. Out of the Intruder, Grumman and the Navy quickly gave birth to the EA-6A, an electronic warfare variant of the two-seat Intruder that was built to jam enemy air defense radars. Just 28 examples of these aircraft were built, with the first flying in 1963. But the concept was a success, and aided by lessons learned the hard way in the dangerous skies of Vietnam, it ushered in the redesigned 4-seat EA-6B Intruder. The purpose-built, carrier-capable electronic warfare jet first flew in 1968 and entered service in 1971. Over the EA-6B's 48-year career with the Navy and the USMC, it only became more capable and essential. After the retirement of the USAF's EF-111 Raven in 1998, the EA-6B became nearly the sole provider of electronic warfare support for America's air arms, with just the Air Force's small EC-100 and 30H Compass call fleet, providing limited overlap in capability. In the last few years, the small handful of remaining USMC Prowlers, still flying even hauled LIT-9 targeting pods, acting in the non-traditional overwatch and surveillance role, while also executing their jamming mission at the same time, if need be. The final ICAPII configured jets, which were what the Marines were flying up until today, are extremely capable aircraft. That upgrade drastically improved the Prowler's situational awareness, ability to communicate, jamming effectiveness, and human-machine interfaces. It was used as a basis for the EA-18G Growler's electronic warfare system development. But according to some of our sources, the ICAPII Prowler could do some things even better than the aforementioned Growler that replaced the Prowler in Navy service. In essence, even though the Prowler was a remarkably dated aircraft, it too became a true multi-role platform in the twilight of its career. The F-35B and C, which the USMC is buying, do have a potent electronic warfare suite, but it is focused on self-protection more than large force protection, and the broad area jamming support that the Prowlers and Growlers offer. In all, the EA-6B community, which is relatively tiny compared to those of some of their fast jet colleagues within the DoD's inventory, flew more than 260,000 hours and were part of virtually every major U.S. military operation during their active service. Yet the one metric that can't be counted is just how many pilots and aircraft were saved by the EA-6B's radar scrambling capabilities. If there was actually a way to compute that number, I am certain it would be absolutely astonishing. Remember that for every aircraft the Prowler saved by employing its bag of electronic tricks, it meant that a bunch of other planes and service people didn't have to punch right back into that hostile environment to rescue the downed aircrew. In other words, the EA-6B had a cumulative effect on survivability rates of American combat aircraft. Prowlers also had been a quiet enabler of America's stealth aircraft fleets, working as a nearly essential part of America's stealth technology cocktail, since the F-117 flew its first combat sorties. It is worth noting that the only F-117 lost in combat occurred during Operation Allied Force occurred on a night when there were no EA-6Bs providing an electronic attack umbrella for the stealthy jet's forays deep into enemy airspace. So as we say our final goodbye to the last of the Grumman iron cadre of tactical jets, we can only say thank you to everyone that made Prowler such a magnificent and long-lasting success. I hope you enjoyed it, and remember to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of our new content. See you next time.